Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? It's good to be back. It's day off yesterday. I just decided to have a chill out day. Didn't do a show yesterday. It was nice to get some rest, unwind a little bit, not think of true crime. Well, not think of true crime all day anyway. I still checked in on stories. It's just I didn't do it around the clock. It was nice just to have a reset for a day and yeah, just take the Sunday night off. There's no football anymore, so it's very quiet Sunday. It's very quiet. It's good to see you all. How are you? I don't know who's going to show up to this one because we're on so early. Hey, James, how are you? Yes, an early one. Marjorie, hey, Marjorie, good to see you, my sweet friend. Betty C, good to have you. Rachel, Mama Mia, Gayla's here, Lindy. I was speaking to someone earlier today in Texas, and they were saying that they got like an ice storm coming and the temperatures are starting to drop really low there right now, like freezing ground and water, things like that. So I hope if you're in the path of this big ice event that is coming to you, I hope you stay warm. I hope your water stays on, like you keep electricity, all those type of things. Yeah, it sounds awful. Hey Kelly, how are you? Sir Ping and Lady Ping. She's not here today. She's not here, but I will. I saw your message in the comments the other day. I passed it on to her for you. I passed it on. Yeah, like she reads all the comments when like after the show as well. So she saw your comments in the chat. Hey Marlene, how are you? Touche. Hey Touche. Good to see you. Susie, hey Susie, good to have you. So we actually have some pretty big updates for some stories that we've been following for a while. Uh, one of them is that burlesque dancer. Do you remember that? There was a girl in Melbourne, and someone set her house on fire, but police said it was a wrong person, like it was a mistaken identity. Well, today more information has come out on that, and police are sort of showing their hand here. They're sort of showing people, hey, we really do know that this was a mistaken identity, and they are still searching for the people who set her house alight, and she died in that fire. So that girl never had to die. Like, she had no reason, like, there was no reason for anyone to hurt her. She was actually house sitting for her brother at the time, and she hadn't hurt anyone. There was no need for it. So, right, she was, but her brother's not involved. Neither of them are. This was a completely mistaken identity attack. So I'm going to show you that first. I'm going to show you that. Then we'll talk about the one in the title. The one in the title is bizarre. It stretches across multiple states across America, including California, Pennsylvania, San Francisco, but that's in California, a bunch of other places as well. It is a weird, very strange story that involves like multiple murders, including the murder of a Border Patrol agent. I don't know what's going on, but we'll talk about it. I promise. All right, let me load up this one. Is it this one? Yeah, no. Yes. Her name was Katie. I showed you some photos of Katie a while back. Actually, let me show you the original news report of Katie. If I can find it. Hold on. Katie. All right. Let me take you to the original story for people who haven't seen it so we can all kind of get on the same page. And then if I can stop this. Yeah, okay. Sorry, they're having some technical problems tonight.
Katie Tangy's mother, Tracy, has remembered her 27-year-old daughter as the love of her life. In a statement shared to social media, she says she's completely broken by what she describes as a despicable arson attack here on Dover Street in the West Melbourne suburb of Truganina in the early hours of Thursday morning. Katie was also a beloved member of Melbourne's burlesque community. In a statement posted online, Abrantes Victoria says that she was a star on and off the stage and a talented performer. Katie was house sitting in the house behind me for her brother, who was on his honeymoon overseas, when a fire broke out in what police are describing as a targeted attack about 2 o'clock on Thursday morning. She tried to escape from the property but was unable to. Police have spoken to neighbours and are combing through CCTV to try and find the two offenders who were seen leaving the property. They say that it was a targeted attack, but they're trying to work out whether this was a case of mistaken identity or if someone with criminal history had lived at the address beforehand.
Okay. Okay. We have more information about it. If this won't play, go away. Here we go. I'll take. Yeah, whatever that is. All right. This is the story here that came out today, actually. They're saying top cops chilling warning after woman was burned to death in bungled firebomb attack. As shocking new video is revealed, he says it's the worst in 38 years of being a cop. Um, they say on Tuesday, Victoria Police released CCTV footage of the attack in the hope it may trigger new information that will bring the killers to justice. So, this is some of the Ring doorbell. This is when they set it alight. The last time we saw the CCTV, it was from a place across the road. It was from, I think, an apartment, but it was quite far away. You saw the guy walk, and then you saw the fireball. But this one's very, very close. So we're going to get a much better view of this. They're saying here, the detective inspector said Miss Tangy and her family have no links whatsoever to criminals or the illicit tobacco industry. So why are they mentioning the illicit tobacco industry? So if you have been watching this channel for a while, you will know because I have done shows on it. There is a war going on in Melbourne right now. It has been going on for about 2-3 years now of people who sell either tobacco, legal tobacco, illegal tobacco, or vaping products. Could be illegal vaping products as well. And they may sell a mixture of these products, so like a tobacconist, but they often deal in multiple. In Victoria, you don't have to be a licensed person to sell tobacco products. You can just sell them if you have a store. They're going to change that, but it means that there is a sort of turf war going on down here for between rival illegal tobacco people. And their favorite method of messing with their enemies is to set them on fire. Not the people, well, I'm sure they would if they could, but either their properties or the tobacconist, their cars, their vehicles, the shop front, whatever they can get to. And they believe now that this may have been related to the illicit tobacco fire bombings that have been going on because it looks very similar to the way they do it to the storefronts down here. And that is then now, what they view it as. They believe that's where it may have come from. So here we're gonna watch this Ring doorbell camera, this new one that was released today. It's only about 49 seconds long. So we'll watch it a couple times. Here you can see that idiot. Here, let's go back here. Let's slow this down. There's a guy here in like a yellow hoodie. We'll watch him. He's the one who starts the fire. I don't know what we're watching there. Maybe the car at the top. I'm not sure. We'll find out. It's a road. It might be that car right there that they want to know more information about. There you go. I don't know what that is. There's no inscription on this video, just that they want to show us. It must be that little car that must have been escaping from the scene. So let's go back. Like, they're really close to their property too. They must be inside of that wall. It's really, really. They were very close while these people were sleeping too. How is that? Like, that you've got someone inside of your property setting your home alight, like setting a giant fire. It's ridiculous. It really is. Okay. Very, very annoying. Yeah, it is crazy. I agree. Hey, no more BS. How are you? I just jumped on and see a huge fire. It's a fire bombing. Someone got killed, unfortunately, when they got the wrong address of a target and decided to light their house on fire, killed a woman and a dog, and they were the wrong people. They had no connection to any of this at all, and they are now innocent victims in all of this, and they're trying to find out who did it. So by releasing this footage today, Victorian police think maybe someone might know something. I'm surprised they can't get a radio tag off this footage. Hold on, if we go down here. Bad angle, maybe? Let's have a look. Can you see it on the back there? Oh, it's very hard. It's very hard to see because it's dark out. The lights sort of give a like a shine, and it makes it harder to see the license plate. Actually, I wonder if we can do it like this. All right. I want to be able to pause and zoom on this, so give me a second. I want to change the camera, the video. I had no idea if that would work, but it did. I was able to remove it from that website and put it into a blank player. Hold on, I have to stop this one here. That did work. So, all right. Let's see if we can go here. Like, I'm guessing that they probably would have already tried this. Let's see. Yeah, it's very hard to see the back of that vehicle. It's not very clear, is it? Yeah, you can't really. It's hard to pick up details of it. Let's see. Yeah, I'm guessing they would have. This would have been the first thing they would have tried, and you can't. No, you don't get a clear shot unless this is being compressed. But the quality looks pretty good on the camera. It doesn't seem like we're going to get a good enough clearance. Nope, unfortunately. That is disappointing, and that's probably why they've now put this footage out to the public, hoping that, you know, someone might know the vehicle. See if we get something this way. Let's have a look. No, you don't really. It's very blurry. No, you can't even see through that window. I was hoping maybe we might see someone in here, but the quality is just not great. If you own a business, invest in very good quality cameras. You never know when it might come in handy. Don't buy cheap ones off eBay. Yeah, you can't really see. And the bright lights, they may be doing this on purpose, so they know cameras are facing the vehicle. If they have the headlights up very high, you won't be able to get a photo. with the high beams on. The only hope you'd have is if they went through like a red light and it was a traffic camera, because traffic cameras have a special filter that takes away headlights, and they also try to get the back of your vehicle as well. But a camera on the side of a building, probably not going to have it. And you can see it's like 1:12 a.m. on the 16th of January. Yep, there we go. All right, let's go back to. Can we get anything from the fire one? All right, let's have a look. What's this idiot doing? There's actually two people here. There's one person here in the yellow, and there's a person here as well. You can see reflective of their feet right here. If I go like this, you'll see them walking. There's actually two more feet on the back. There you go. He lights the fire down the back here. The guy with the yellow hoodie does not. There's a second person down there lighting whatever flammable liquid that is. He almost gets himself. Look, he almost engulfs himself in a fireball. He probably has burns, actually. I would be surprised if he didn't. Look at that. There was a person there at one point. That's what it looks like, and there's a guy right next to it. So I'm going to guess that he may have some sort of burns being that close to that fireball. Yeah. I wonder what he's holding. This guy in the yellow is holding something in his hand. Can you see? Oh, it's a jerry can. I think it's a jerry can. So he's holding like a petrol container in this hand here. But they do a pretty good job hiding their faces. There you go. I'm going to leave it on there so you guys can see it. Yeah, I'm guessing he definitely has some sort of burns to his body. 100%. Because you're that close to the ignition, it's going to engulf you and anything surrounding you. They probably use too much fuel, and yeah. Sean said traffic cameras are just plain Mobotix brand in New South Wales. Sean, don't they have a special filter on them though that normal cameras don't? I was pretty sure I read that. Maybe it's just Victoria, but I heard it so that people can't use reflective. Like those things people put on their license plates, so that when a camera flashes, it gives a reflection back, not the picture of the license plate. I was pretty sure that they used to put like some sort of filter over it to get rid of the whatever it is, the reflection. They used to? Okay. Yellow is for diesel, apparently. They put gas in it. Yeah. Could be any type of flammable liquid. But that's not a bad video that we've got here. Actually, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to go like that. And I'm going to download that video for later. All right. I'll post it on my social media too, so if you guys want to watch it later, you can. Yeah, that's a huge ignition. Look at that. Bang. You can almost not see the second person that's right there from how big that fireball got. And then we leave. And then we head off to here. I don't know. I don't understand why this is why they're filming for so long. Like what is the point? What time is it? 00:12:34. Okay. Do we jump in time? Let's see. No. There's that car. All right. What's the time we go to the second camera? 1:12. Why the discrepancy? Is this when they were heading to the fire? And this is when they were going back, like, away from the crime scene? I'm guessing that's what that might be. This might be when they were traveling towards, and this might be when they were traveling back. Unless the time is wrong, because it's like an hour later. See? 1:12, and then we're on this one. It's 1:12. So, okay, their camera is not calibrated correctly, I'm guessing. Yeah, their camera is screwed. Set your cameras up properly, people. And there's that vehicle again. You don't really get a very good look at it. Too much motion blur from the camera. You're not getting like a clear, still image. It's very, very blurry. Yeah, it's not good. Like, even if we pause it on the front of the vehicle, like right here, you can't see anything. And if we go to the one where we can see the back of the vehicle here, can't really pick up anything either. Oh, maybe? That's probably your best view right there, and it's very, very pixelated, very blurry. It's not good. Yeah, I'd say that's your best view. Can't see anything. Can't see anything, unfortunately. But if anyone knows who might be driving this vehicle, or you recognize the two dumbasses in the backyard, you should call it in via Crime Stoppers. Marlene says we had a kid in high school who came to school without eyebrows. What? Eyebrows, eyelashes, and missing head hair. He liked fires. Okay. Separate infrared lights cause the reflecting. That would be annoying. You start work at 1 p.m. Have fun. Have fun. Have a good afternoon at work, my friend. Don't work too hard. Are you doing tarot today? Is that what you do? Sean says motion blur, easy to get a clear shot when nothing is moving. I know, you wonder how they do the tennis every day, right? You see they do the tennis and you can see the ball. But those are like $120,000 cameras. Each one is like more than 100 grand. This camera costs like $200 from Amazon. It's not it's not as good. Yeah, it's a shame. A shame that we're not really getting a very good. I'm not sure what police want us to take from the video. I mean, it sort of keeps the crime in the paper, but it's not giving us a ton of like much to go on. Unless someone could recognize the car and knows who the people are, that's about as good as you're gonna get. Like, it's really not very informative. Yeah, that's all we got. Fireball and 2 views of the car. And these guys creeping in the backyard here. And you see it just go kaboom. What is that? There's something here, maybe a tree or an umbrella or something. All right, hold on for a sec. All right. Yeah, it is definitely a pretty big explosion, I would say. I think that's a tree. I can see like leaves on it. At first, I thought it might have been like one of those backyard, umbrellas that people have, like table, chair, umbrella, but it's not. I think it's just a tree. It's a hell of a fire. No wonder that house went up so quickly. It's really brutal. And then these guys, that guy has to have burns, like for sure. Actually, I want to show you the one from the original one, because you can see this fireball from like down the street. When he first lights it, that you see it here, like you can see it halfway down the block. All right, here, let me put that up for you.
Performer has been revealed as the innocent victim of a botched firebombing in Melbourne's West. Katie Tangie's heartbroken mother says she's lost her best friend, a beautiful soul who was happiest on stage.
So that is the property after we see the CCTV we just watched. This is what it looked like when people attended, knowing it was on fire. Let me see if they have that CCTV. Here, yes, there's another view of it. All right, I'm just going to play it from here.
Life of 27 years cut short by arsonists early yesterday morning who set fire to her brother's Truganina house, which she was house sitting while he was on his honeymoon. She called 000, desperately trying to escape, but died in the inferno, which police say was sparked at the wrong house. Her mother posting online this morning about her beautiful baby girl. I'm completely broken and don't know how we are going to heal from this devastating news. You are and always will be my best friend and the love of my life. My heart will be forever broken.
Katie had an amazing relationship with her mother as well. They were so close and connected.
Others described her as incredibly talented, inspirational, a force, an icon, a star and a wonderful friend.
It's like really empowering as well that other people will like come up to you and say, oh, you look so good, I wish I could do that. It's like, but you can. Like, I was you. Like, yeah, you can do it. You just go for it.
After yesterday describing the firebombing of an innocent victim as appalling and despicable, today Homicide Squad detectives' only update is that there have been no arrests and the getaway car captured on CCTV has not been found.
Just horrible. Like, you couldn't think of.
Yeah, so that's the original view we had of that car. The one we just looked at in the new video, same one. And then if we go back here, that's what's left of the building. You can see where the fire originated from, probably on like the ground floor, where we saw in the video. Yeah, that's what the house looks like now. Just, yeah, nothing left. There's that original video. You can see how fast that fire went up. This is like, what is this? Like 3 stories, 2 or 3 stories up, and you can see how high that flame goes now. This is only minutes after that original video we saw, where we saw them light the fire and go kaboom. This is what it looked like not long after. So how she was ever going to get out, I don't know, but those O operators must be traumatized to listen to someone on the phone saying, "Help, my house is on fire. I don't know how to get out." That would be haunting. It would haunt you, probably for the rest of your life, knowing that the last words that she spoke were to you. And she had to die in this fire because someone is a dumbass. How many times have we seen? I think I've done 2 just in the last 4 days of people targeting the wrong person. If you're going to do this type of thing, at least make sure you know who you're targeting instead of taking, innocent people. If you're too dumb to do the background work, don't do it at all. You want to kill a criminal? Sure, go ahead. But make sure you get the right person. Don't be killing burlesque dancer who has no anything to do with anything. Sean said no escape was their plan. Wow, maybe. I mean, they probably did it right where there was an exit. Actually, let's see what it says here. They say Trigonina, fatal fire or fatal house fire, now believed to be linked to illicit tobacco dispute. Yeah, not that she was involved though. They say detectives from the arson and explosives squad are today releasing further CCTV and appealing for information following a fatal house fire in Truganina in January, or Truganina, as some people pronounce it. They say investigators are now of the belief that this arson attack was likely linked to the illicit tobacco dispute between who, I don't know. But they're saying they will be working closely with Task Force Luna. Information received by detectives suggests it was a targeted attack, but at the wrong address. Police have still not been able to establish any reason why the woman or her family would be targeted in this way and believe they are completely innocent in this attack. They say shortly after 2 a.m. on Thursday, the 16th of January, CCTV captures two people get out of a dark colored vehicle similar to a BMW X3 parked outside of the address. A significant explosion then occurs and the pair leave the area, with the 27-year-old Hoppers Crossing woman inside the property subsequently calling 000 to say the home is on fire. Emergency services were initially called to reports of a fire at a residential property on Dover Street about 2:30 a.m. on Thursday, the 16th of January. They say Katie Tangy was inside the house sitting the property at the time, which belongs to one of her family members. They say Katie and the family's golden retriever died at the scene, and the 3-story townhouse was completely destroyed. A dark-colored vehicle similar to a BMW X3 is captured on CCTV traveling north on Forsyth Road in Truganina at approximately 2:12 a.m. A ring camera at the Dover Street house also captures the moment the house is engulfed before two men, one carrying what appears to be a jerry can, flees the scene. Over the past 4 weeks, a significant investigation has taken place to determine the motivation for the attack and who was involved. This has led to Task Force Luna uncovering information which has linked this incident to the illicit tobacco dispute. What one or who, we don't know. So it sounds like this would probably be the murder squad. But it also sounds like, being that it is a task force, normally what that means in Australia is you have more than one department. So you might have homicide, you might have, well, down here it says arson and explosives. So you probably got a few different squads working together underneath the task force. That's normally what it means when they say they have made a task force in Australian policing. But that's all the new information we have. A BMW X3. That's like an SUV. That's like a little mini SUV type of thing. Let's see. Can we show you a photo of one? That is what they're saying that black vehicle is that we see on the footage. So yeah, I thought it was, originally when I saw the footage, I thought it was like a set of apartments, like, like 3 apartments or something, but no, it's just one home. It's just one sort of 3-level house. So okay. So it's an Aboriginal word, Sean? That makes a lot of sense, being that half the names in Australia are Aboriginal words. So everything is suburbs, street names, people. Marjorie said, my ex had an X3 once. It was a smaller BMW. Okay. Well, that's what they're saying it is. If you have any information, you should call 1-800-333-000, and you can stay anonymous if you call that number. Let me see if I want to see if we can watch the. Where would this be? That's under the VicPol. VicPol. Hold on, guys.
We right to go? Right. Okay, Chris Murray, Detective Inspector, Officer in charge of the Arson Explosive Squad. Thanks for coming this morning. The job here today is to give you an update in respect to the fatal fire which occurred at 95 Dover Street in Truganina on the 16th of January this year. What we know, at approximately 2 a.m, 2 offenders attended the rear of that premises, subsequently tipped a large amount of accelerant in, and as a result of that, what we have is one of the most tragic cases I've seen in my 38 years. We've got a female, Katie Tangi, 27 years of age. She was home alone. She was house sitting, unaware of what was about to unfold. She just had time enough to call 000 and unfortunately died as a result of the fire. As I said, in my time, I'd struggle to see such a more horrific and tragic case. My job here today, though, the public have been wonderful in terms of the assistance they have given, but I'm actually here to appeal for those that may know these two faceless, gutless individuals who committed this act. We want some names to those faces. And what we do know is this: people will talk. These two individuals will have family, they'll have friends, they'll have criminal associates. And what I would say to them is have a conscience. We would say do the right thing. Now, they can call Crime Stoppers anonymously and give us information and let us do the rest. We just need a name to those faces. We're releasing the footage today, which will hopefully assist triggering some people, especially those that know these individuals. We'll also release some footage of a car very similar to a BMW X3 that was seen at and leaving the premises shortly after 2 a.m. We know this, at this stage of investigation, we know it is linked to the illegal tobacco trade. That is one thing I can say with a high degree of certainty. We know, importantly, this premises was targeted, but it's the wrong address. Katie Tangi had nothing to do with the illegal tobacco trade, nor did her friends, nor did her family. So I just want to make that crystal clear. We're absolutely convinced of that. They've got the wrong address. This was always our fear, that is, someone would die as the tobacco wars, and unfortunately this has come to fruition. As I say, we need the public's help, but more importantly, we need the help of those that know something about what's happened here. And we know they will know. That's a given. History tells us that. I'll take some questions. Anyone got it?
I know you probably can't shed too much light on the investigation, but what makes you so certain that this is linked to the tobacco wars?
That's something I won't go into, only by virtue of where the investigation is at. Safe to say is this: we've joined forces with the horsepower of the Luna Task Force, Detective Inspector Graham Banks, who leads that. They have now a high degree of subject matter expertise in relation to the illegal tobacco trade, and we are convinced that this was the motive behind that.
How concerned are you about the escalation of the tobacco war?
We've been concerned for a long time, and we remain concerned, yes.
Had any homes on that street been targeted in recent months or years? I mean, you say it's the wrong address.
Yeah.
You know, had any other homes?
No.
Do you think they targeted that specific house thinking someone else lived there, or were they meant to get a neighbouring property?
Well, that's the million-dollar question. So that's something we're working through. But what we do know and what we're certain of is the people that resided there, and especially poor Katie, had nothing to do with it. We know that for a fact.
Have you identified anyone of interest that lives nearby where the address was in Dragonite?
No, we've got, we're keeping an open mind, as we would at this stage of investigation. We've got lines of inquiry which we'll pursue. But again, all roads lead back to the two individuals that we know who committed this act. And we know they would have spoken. We know they would have said we got the wrong address. So we know there's people out there that know that an innocent young girl has lost her life, and we hope they've got a conscience. I'd say this, even the most hardened crook would be disgusted about what has gone on here. We know that. We've been told that. So I want someone to put their money where their mouth is and call Crime Stoppers and give us the information we need. We'll do the rest.
Are you surprised it's taken this long for an innocent victim to unfortunately get caught up in these tackles?
Well, I've said many a time, arson is absolutely unpredictable. It is no surprise to me, unfortunately, someone has died at the hands of individuals who use arson as a means of conducting their criminality. No surprise. We've got an individual recently in Paran who's still on life support as a result of an arson attack there. So, no, I'm not surprised.
And the ring camera footage, we got a very small snippet, but it was very clear. Did you get a pretty good look at two offenders in that?
It's probably as clear as we've provided the media outlets. So it's not so much that we can't see the faces. People will know who these individuals are. We know that. So we just need them to call Crime Stoppers and give us the start we need.
How important is it for Katie's family to find these two?
Well, I mean, how devastating. I mean, she was house sitting, the family's away. She hadn't been out that much, and she suffered such a horrible fate. She didn't deserve to die. And our job is to bring her and the family some peace and some justice. We'll get there, but we need, again, I appeal to the people out there who know to have a conscience and do the right thing.
How confident are you that you will find these two men?
Well, as confident as one can be. The investigation is progressing. Now we've got the assistance of the Luna Task Force. It's certainly made a massive difference. They're highly adaptable and know this world very well in terms of the illegal tobacco trade.
So that actually jogged my memory. The Luna Task Force was put together to investigate the arson events that were happening across Victoria in relation to the illegal tobacco industry and importation, including vaping as well. Yeah, it's interesting to see some of the wording that he uses. He often he likes to put it onto the public. He says things like, "Oh, they'll know who these people are." I almost like, I think I've told you this before. Police don't do these press conferences and just sort of speak, random stuff. Everything is planned. They know what type of questions they're going to get, and they know what type of response they're going to give. They sort of practice it a little bit. And they sort of, repeat questions like before they do this, and they kind of try and get like certain word and wordings, when they're talking about certain things. It almost feels like, to me, that they're speaking to someone in particular. It's like, I don't know if they're speaking to a group of people or just one person, but it's almost like when he's saying like, they'll know, they'll call us, just call us and give us a name. It's almost like they're trying to speak to someone directly, and I don't know who that person might be, but that wouldn't be the first time they've tried that type of thing. I've seen them do it in other types of cases, especially in Victoria, where they say something like, we're this close, we just need the name. And I'm just like, how can you be this close and you just need a name? Doesn't the name sort of just give it to you? But yeah, it's almost like they're trying to reach someone, and I'm not sure who that might be, but it is an interesting thing. Sean said, our government taxes are to blame. Yeah, so if you are unaware, in Australia, a pack of cigarettes right now, I don't smoke. I haven't smoked in 10 years. I do vape though. I quit smoking with vaping. You can hate it all you want. I will fight you to the death on it. It saved my life. I would still be a pack a day smoker now. I used to smoke a pack a day. Every day, I'd smoke a 30 pack of cigarettes every day. Since I started vaping, I don't anymore. But the price of a pack of smokes is, I think it's like $70, $80 or something. It's crazy, almost $100 for a pack of cigarettes, and it's sort of gone backwards. Back in the day, it was supposed to hit the hip pocket of smokers, right? As a deterrent of smoking. But what has happened now is the government has become so addicted to the taxes that they make from smokers that they keep putting it up. It's no longer a deterrent. It's just become a way for them to make money. That's why they wanted to ban vaping, because there is no taxes on vaping, and they were actually losing money. Yeah, I think it was like in the last 2 years they lost $15 billion. $15 billion from smokers switching to vaping. And yeah, so it's actually gone backwards now that the prices are so high. It's no longer really a deterrent as such, because people who have an addiction are not going to stop no matter what the price is. You could make them $200 a packet and people would still buy as many as they could afford. What you are doing now is you're actually depriving people in lower socioeconomic areas that don't have a lot of money. Maybe they have a pension or something. You're now removing money from other parts of their life, because we already know they're not going to stop smoking. And now you're like, kids are going to go without clothes, and, they're not going to have as good a food on the table or whatever. It's become the reverse of what it was originally designed to be. And the only reason they haven't done anything about it is because the government is addicted to the taxes. They really are. They rely on it. It makes so much money for the government. It is crazy. And so that's where these illegal industries come in. There's people that import these tobacco products, Chop Chop, which is like a loose leaf tobacco. They also have like cigarettes that come in, like tailor-made cigarettes. They come in too, and you can buy them under the counter from most places. If I was a smoker, that's probably what I would do. You can go to any place in my area, sort of give the whole, say the secret word, and they'll sell it to you, and it's about a quarter of the price of a government-sponsored pack of cigarettes. So these huge illicit tobacco things, now you're getting turf wars between different rival importers of tobacco products. So when you go back to the beginning of this, whose fault is all of this? It's the government's, because they created this black market. They created it by driving the taxes up so high that these criminal outfits knew they would have a market at any price under the government's like $80 for a pack. And they're just not willing to do anything about it. Nothing. They're just like, oh, we'll stamp it out with tough policing. Well, now a girl's died. Now what? What do you say to their families? What do you say to her family? Oh, we're sorry? Oh, we're sorry we didn't do anything earlier. Oh, we're sorry that we could have done something years ago, but we just didn't want to. Like, it's ridiculous. Stop being so addicted to the taxation money that comes from cigarettes. There's no other country in the world that has prices as high as Australia. None. There's a few that come close, but not like Australia. It's so expensive, and it's crazy. So yeah, these turf wars are going on down here, and they just keep lighting up different places. They just keep burning them down. Happens like every few nights. It's bonkers. Lindy says, I remember that too. Well, when I was a kid, I started smoking when I was 12. I started smoking when I was 12 years old. I'm not proud of it. I'm not very proud of it, but I did. And the shops around where I lived would sell to children. You say, oh, it's for mum. Mum sent me down here to get a pack of smokes. And they would just sell it to you. And I was smoking at 12. And I smoked up until I was 26. I smoked until I was about 26. And I smoked about a pack a day. And when I was a kid, they were $5 a pack. $5. And they went from $5 when I was about 12, and now I'm 40, and they're $80 a packet. 80. That's a lot of money, especially if you're on some sort of fixed income. You can't pay your rent, right? Like we're in a cost of living crisis, right? Everyone can't afford anything. Like you think like the YouTubers, like I'm not a 1 million subscriber YouTube channel. I can't afford anything either. It's crazy. And then you want to up the taxes. Like the tax got upped, I think only about 4 months ago. It got upped another like 3%, 4% or something. So they keep doing it. And it's just the solution to this is with the government. And the girl, this young girl didn't have to die. She didn't have to die, and they could have done something like sooner. They had a parliamentary inquiry in Victoria last year. They're like, oh, we're going to introduce a new system. We're going to have licensing, and this is going to change the way all these stores that are illegally running. It's going to fix it all. It's 12 months later, and they've done nothing. Nothing. There's no difference from this time last year to today. Nothing at all. They spent millions doing that inquiry, and they've put no changes. None. They've said all this stuff like, oh, we're going to do licensing and spot checks and this and that. No, they haven't done anything. Like vaping is banned here. You can still walk into any store and get a disposable e-cigarette from any fucking store down here. It's expensive now because it's banned and it's illegal, but you can still do it. You can still get them. Just shows you that if there's a market, people will find a way to fill that market. So Lindy says, when they went to $5, I was shocked by that. I think I was like 12, they were like $5, and then when I was about 18, they were about $10. So in about half a decade, they jumped in price from $5 to $10. So they jumped almost 100%. Rachel said, I'm in the US, we make our own juice. Yeah, I make my own. So I can show you. Hold on. So I don't know if I'm allowed to show you that, but I'll show you. So I make my own, and I just, because that's all I can do. You can't buy it here anymore. They banned all the flavors here. So you can't have any, all you can get here now is plain, mint, and tobacco. That's it. Plain, which is no flavor, mint or tobacco. That's all you can get here now. And you have to get it through a pharmacy. You have to get a prescription, and you have to go to a pharmacy to get your e-liquid. It's mental. It's stupid. This costs me about $1 a week to make. I make this. I make it with my own PGVG. I've got my own nicotine, and I make it myself. Costs me about $1 a week. The stuff you get from the store, this is like a 250 ml bottle. What is it, like 4 ml? 4 ml of e-liquid, if you get it from the pharmacy, is, I think it's like $35. $35 for 4 mils. That's like this much. It's crazy. It's again just government going mental. So, Jonna says the tobacco flavor is the worst. I tell you, if you're in a country where they're starting to do this, like taking flavors away, learn to DIY. It'll save you a lot of money, and you'll be able to do stuff like whatever you want. I've got like boxes and boxes and boxes of flavorings here that I bought before the ban came in. I just mix my own. I want a blueberry today, I'll make a blueberry. I want like a tropical, I'll make a tropical. Like, I don't care what they have to say. So, yeah, because you've got that thing. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. They get around it though. They get around it in the UK. I have friends in the UK that do it. There's ways of around it. I think if it has the nicotine already in it, it has to be only 10 mil. So they just give you multiple 10 mil bottles. Like when my friend ordered from the UK, they just gave him like a whole bag of 10 mil bottles. But to get around it, what they do is they just up the nicotine level. So they make it like 600 milligram per mil. So if you get a 10 mil bottle, it's like super strong. You just need a few drops and it'll make heaps. But that's how they get around those sort of things. Just Quit then. Doesn't cost me anything anymore. But I quit smoking. I don't smoke anymore. But I mean, it cost me like $1 a week. So it doesn't cost me very much. But I get it why people you know, why people go to these illegal sources, because the government's just made it so hard, so restrictive for no reason. And we no longer have free choice in Australia anymore. We're run by a nanny state. How long does 4 mil last? That would last me about a day, maybe less. 2 days maybe. 2 days maybe. Gail says I get a 20 strength in a 10 mil, and that's a lot stronger than most people. The stuff that we had here before the ban was 100 milligram. So people used to just dilute it, buy like a 250 ml bottle, and you can dilute it by 4. You get 25 milligram, but you get a liter. So there were ways around it back in the day. Yes, it's just greed. That's all it is. And now this young girl, Katie, has been killed in this escalating war. And it's all of the government's making. It's no one else. Like, you can blame the black market or whatever, but the government's had an opportunity to address it several times. We've had several parliamentary inquiries, and they just won't back down off their the tax is a good thing. I almost ate my microphone. The tax is a good thing. The tax is going to save lives. No, it's not. People are still going to get it. I swear to God, if you make it $300 a packet, people are still going to buy it. It's like drugs, right? Imagine you go to a heroin user and you say, okay, now your daily, I don't know how much do they use a day? I got no idea. Whatever it is. And they're like, okay, yesterday it was $50. Tomorrow it's going to be $250. Do you think that heroin addict's going to say, oh, that's too expensive, I'm not going to do that anymore? Do you think that's what's going to happen? No, they're going to find the money somehow. And that's what they're going to do. So, same with smoking, unfortunately. Smoking is a very disgusting, horrific, and it's a killer. It'll kill you eventually. It's a horrible thing. And yeah, it'll kill you eventually. Same with the heroin. Catatonic says, can't bring tobacco in duty free either. Not anymore. You can only bring like 1 pack now. That's it. Back in the day, when we used to travel, you could bring in a carton per person. I don't know, 250 cigarettes or whatever. Now you can't do that. Now you can bring 1 unopened packet and 1 open packet, and that's it. That's it. Yes, if you sent me anything in the mail that was vaping related, it would get taken and I would get fined. The fines are like $250,000. So if you sent me anything, I would be in a lot of trouble. Not that I've ever heard of anyone being fined as of yet, but the fines are huge. So Nana said, that is so sad. The innocent lady died. What about the family who owned the house? Were they the targets? I think the brother owned the house, if I'm correct. It was her brother's home. He owned it. Wendy R says, yeah. Yeah, her brother owned the house. I was pretty sure about that. That was his property. Marjorie said during lockdown they still had liquor stores open. What does that tell you? Exactly. Yeah, that was funny. During lockdown in Victoria, one of the only stores that were open were grocery stores, pharmacies, and alcohol stores. But in Australia, everyone's like, well, we have to have the alcohol stores open. Otherwise, we'll never get through the lockdown. There'll be too many murders. Everyone's like, we'll just kill everyone. Being that Victoria, where I live, was in the longest lockdown in the Western world. In the Western world, Victoria was in the longest lockdown worldwide. It was almost... There was a break between it over the summer, but for 2 winters, we were fully locked down. We weren't allowed to go out. Only one person could go get groceries. Not for the first year. It was 2 years here. Two different... it was like 2020 and 2021. We were locked down for like 5 months at a time. Brutal. Yep, I would go to jail. That is true. You lost power in New Jersey. Is that because of this ice storm that everyone is having? Rachel said the flavoring concentrates are commonly... Yeah, so my friend owns a company that sells flavoring concentrate. And they use it in vaping. They use it in cakes and beer and whatever else. The government took all their supplies. So when they ordered new supply in, the government held it at the border and said, "Oh, it's just for vaping. We're gonna take it." And they're like, "Whoa, hold on a second." They're like, "We supply bakers, the brewing industry, like commercial things and stuff like that." They're like, the vapors who buy from us are like 1% of our sales annually. And they actually had to get lawyers involved. So, and they tried to take flavoring. Like literally little bottles of like blueberry flavoring. No nicotine, no glycol, nothing to do with vaping, just literally flavoring. And they tried to take it at the border. Marjorie says your lockdown in Oz was much more draconian, and still the USA whines over our restrictions. There were people shot in Melbourne for walking around and like protesting and that. They shot them with rubber bullets in Melbourne. Shot them. Like the police actually used a gun on them for protesting lockdowns. It was one of the most barbaric things I've ever seen in my life. Marlene says in PA, our hard liquor is only sold in what is called a state store, and they are owned by the state and no one else but bars can sell liquor. Is that true in Pennsylvania? Oh, I didn't know that. I had no idea that was a thing. Ah, that's a good point, Taz. Thank you. Yeah, that's a good point, because there are a lot of people who are alcoholics. And that's true. It could kill you if you didn't taper. Rachel said, I make candy sometimes with mine. That is so wrong. I agree. Other drugs withdrawal nasty but less deadly. Yeah, maybe that's why they left it open, Taz, because that is true. There are a lot of people who drink daily. I don't drink. I have a beer like once a year. I bought a case of beer because I enjoyed it at the wedding that I went to in December. And I've drunk 1 beer in 2 months. One. I had just one. I don't drink. Before that beer, I hadn't had a beer since 2009. I hadn't had one alcoholic drink since 2009. I don't drink, and I don't smoke, but don't do anything like that anymore. I'm a good boy. Taz says, shows how addicted Aussies are to alcohol. Alcohol is the most dangerous during... Yeah, it is. And yet they're all like, you cannot have any vaping products. Please. Please don't try and save your lives. You can't get away from the cigarettes. We have some great flavored alcohol, though. If you want any chocolate, caramel, fruit, other things, flavored alcohol, we've got heaps of it. Come to the store around the corner. You can have as many as you want. But you want something that's flavored and it might save your life from smoking? No, you cannot have that. We cannot allow that. You might attract children because adults have to have things that taste like crap because only children like things that taste good. It's a really backwards mentality. RX Girl said, I'm a smoker. If they stopped menthol, I'll have to stop. I've tried vaping and it chokes me up. RX Girl, please email me. I have some advice for you. As a vapor for over 10 years already, I have some advice for you. I know what you're talking about, and you've tried the wrong product. So just email me. I'll help you. I want to get you away from those bloody cigarettes. Don't smoke. It's bad for you. Not saying you shouldn't, just saying it'll save your life if you don't. Marjorie said, my drug of choice is Cabernet. Like the red wine. Okay, it's a good wine. Jojo says, I worked in a very small, dry town. A girl brought a beer out one day and it looked like a scene from Footloose. That's really funny. You should have videotaped it. Janet, hey, how are you? It's good to see you. Jeanette says, I threw away nearly a whole bottle of whiskey that had been open for 10 years but didn't drink. That sounds like us. I've got bottles of wine up here. I've got bottles of liquor and stuff that people have gifted me and things like that. Just don't drink. I don't drink unless I put it in my food or whatever. Like if I'm making a casserole, I'll put red wine in, but I don't drink wine. So, but everyone always gives me alcohol. They're always like, oh, he's a guy. Hey, he's Australian. He's a guy. He definitely wants the alcohol. Yeah, let's give him some alcohol. Yeah, they give it to me as a gift. Yeah. Yeah, email me. I'll help you. Gayla says, yeah, it's a gift. Yeah. All right. Shall we go on to the, okay, wait. Hey, Carolina, how are you? Stephen Stearns took, what? Stephen Stearns took 1,750,000 images? Almost 2,000 images of Madeline Soto. Ugh. Are you talking about like the ones that he got in prison for or just photos? Are you talking about the ones that he got charged over or like family photos? Wait, that sounds wrong. Normal photos. Oh, you're saying to re-gift it to someone. We do. I actually, before we move on to the next, we're gonna go to the next story in a second. About that, we went to dinner with some family the other day, and I just picked up a bottle of wine that we had on the shelf, and I put it like I wiped it down. I like made sure it was good, and I just gave it to them. And then they're looking at it, and they're looking really weird. And I'm like, what? Do they not like it? Is it not a good wine? Because I don't know. I don't drink wine. And then they come up to me and they're like, thank you for the very nice gift. And I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? And they're like, oh, this is a beautiful bottle of wine. I was like, yeah, you're welcome. I don't care. Enjoy the wine, whatever. And they're like, this is like $130 bottle of wine. And I was like, really? And they're like, yeah, it's $130 bottle. They're like, where did you get it? That's a very nice gift. I was like, I don't know. Some wine or whatever. I was like, enjoy it. I was like, have fun. Enjoy the wine. I had no idea. I just thought it was some like, $20, $30 bottle of wine. No, they didn't gift it to me. No. No, they didn't give it to me, but it was just some expensive bottle of wine someone had gave to me at some point, and I didn't know. I just was like, oh, it's a bottle of wine. It has a koala on it. Okay, you can have it. Enjoy the wine. Like I don't know the brands or anything. It's just like, oh, it says it's a wine from South Australia. Sure, you can have it. Yeah, apparently it was some expensive limited edition, like small batch, like some wine that they only made like 1,000 of. And I was like, I don't care. I don't drink. I don't drink. What do you want me to do? No, it wasn't a Yellow Label. It was some other brand. I'd never heard of it before. Patty, all right, you can email me, my friend. You have nice stuff there. It's normally just gifts people are giving us. All right, let's move on. No more talking about that. Yeah, actually, let's talk about this just for a couple of seconds. That aircraft crash today. How does a plane get upside down on its own runway? I'm pretty sure they tried to land on whoever was doing the flight control. I feel like they put them on a wrong runway where the crosswind was too strong. And as they came into land, it just flipped them over. But I'm not sure. But did you hear this? That people were filming instead of helping other people or trying to get out of the aeroplane, people were going on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube Live, videoing from inside of the aircraft while they were upside down in their seat. So apparently we've lost all caring of other people. We don't help others in a time of emergency anymore. We just pull out our phone and start filming everything around us. I've never heard of something so mental. Yeah, why would they report how many photos anyone takes? I don't know. Stefan Stearns is... Ugh. All right, I'm going to play a little video for you. I think they might show it to you. I don't want to do too long on it because I know that some other channels had already done a lot on this today.
News now will take you straight to Toronto Pearson International Airport. We've confirmed what's being called an incident right now. Delta Airlines, this flight was arriving from Minneapolis. There's the live pictures right there. We are being told now 8 injuries. And yes, that is a Delta aircraft completely upside down. Now, the question is, how did that happen? Yeah. What are the possible scenarios? Clearly, snow, wind, ice.
But it's astonishing to see. Let's get right to ABC transportation reporter Sam Sweeney and our aviation analyst John Nance. So, Sam, that plane is inverted, right? That's an upside down airplane. What do we know at this hour? We are hearing 8 injured, no fatalities at this point. What are you hearing?
Terry, it's unbelievable when you look at these images now just coming in from our affiliates there. This is a CRJ 900 aircraft. It's slightly bigger than the plane that crashed at DCA just 3 weeks ago. It was arriving from Minneapolis into Toronto's Pearson Airport when it somehow, in these weather conditions, and we're learning the winds were at least 40 miles per hour, it flipped over, potentially some sort of an ice situation. The good news is that we are told, initial reports, everybody has made it out alive.
There you go. I like the you know what's funny? It's not funny because people got hurt or whatever, but every time something like this happens and they have to get sort of, you know, the people who are on call for TV stations, like when something bad happens, they're like, okay, people, we're going live in like 3 minutes. Quick, get into the studio. And then they don't have any like you know, teleprompter to tell them what to say. That guy's like, you can tell he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's all like, so Sean, what we're looking at here seems to be an airplane. It seems to be inverted. Yes, inverted planes on the inverted runway of a plane that is inverted. And they just repeat themselves and say the most random words. And it's like, yes, we can all see the plane is upside down. You don't have to use such fancy words. It's okay. Your people listening will understand what you're saying. It is weird how we've had so many airplane accidents. I swear to God that DJ sent me like, I don't know, 2 or 3 in the last 4 days of airplanes crashing all over the USA. Yeah, so it's horrible. Luckily, this one wasn't as bad as the one in Washington or The one before that, they're both tragedies. Luckily, this one, everyone seems mostly to be okay. Although I did hear the one in Philadelphia, that person that died was that person in that vehicle. I learnt today. The one person who died on the ground was in a vehicle that just got covered in jet fuel and just lit up. And I just feel so sorry for that person. What a horrific ending to their life like that, right? You're just driving down the road and this plane crashes and jet fuel just gets sprayed all over your car and ignites. What a horrible way to go. I think their name, hold on, I have their name. The name of that person is a name that Ping can't find. I do find it. Hold on. Yes. His name is Stephen Druitt, and he was 37 years old. He's the person who died in the vehicle. So he was the one person who died on the ground. I wonder if I have a photo of him. So that was the Philadelphia one that we watched a couple of weeks ago. Here's a photo of him. If I can bring it up. There's a photo of him. That's a photo of that guy. Died in his vehicle after the plane crashed. I think he was the only victim on the ground. Very, very sad. Yes, that is why, because you don't want jet fuel spraying all over the place. It's highly flammable. It burns real hot. And yeah, so sometimes if they have to do an emergency landing, they'll loop until they can run out of fuel, or they'll dump it. If they're over water, they may be able to dump a bunch of fuel, but if they're over land, they can't, and they'll just have to circle. But fortunately, he lost his life, Mr. Steven, unfortunately. Yeah, very sad. All right. That was the airplane. I don't want to do too much in the airplane. I know that there's been a bunch of streamers on today doing it, so I don't want to bore you. We got more things we can talk about, including these people. We're going to go to Pennsylvania after we just talked about them, but we're just going to go to Pennsylvania. If I can find my link. We've got too many links open. No. I'm just clicking on them. Which one is it? No. Ping's not doing a good job at the moment. Come on. Hopefully it's this one.
The investigation into the shooting death of a U.S. Border Patrol agent in Vermont expands to Delaware County. Federal prosecutors say Teresa Youngblood used a gun bought by someone who is a person of interest in a double homicide in the county. However, that person has not been identified in court papers. Investigators say Youngblood was riding in a car with Felix Backholt when Border Patrol agents pulled them over to conduct an immigration inspection last week. At some point, they say she pulled out a gun and began firing. David Chris Malland was killed. NBC 10 is working to figure out which homicide case could be connected to this investigation.
So it seems like it might be more than one murder investigation. If I go by this article that I found, by the way, what is this photo? What is this photo? Did they drug that person after they were arrested? Like, what is going on here? That almost looks like a cadaver, like someone who died, and then they took this in the morgue. Like, you see how like this fabric is? That almost looks like something they put on like a cadaver to take a photo and make it look like they have clothing. I don't think they're dead though. I just don't know what that photo is. And there's the other person. All right. So according to this one, these people that were taken into custody may have been killing people all over the USA. One of the people is Jack Ziz Lasoda, is a tech genius leader of the ominous Bay Area vegan trans death cult known as the Zizans. What a weird name. And was arrested after months on the run They say Lasoda 33, who uses she, her pronouns, was taken into custody on Sunday evening in Maryland. She's being held on charges of trespassing on private property, obstructing a law enforcement officer, and having a gun in her vehicle, according to jail records. The other person is called Michelle, 32, a member of the cult, was also arrested on charges of trespassing, obstruction and hindering, resisting or interfering with an arrest, and having a handgun on her person. Another person is called Daniel Blank, 26, was also arrested. He faces charges again of trespassing on private property, obstruction, and hindering. They say the three have been on the run since 2023 when they were found by officers in Chester City, Pennsylvania, conducting a search warrant after, I think it's Michelle's, yeah. Michelle's parents were found dead. It's very odd. So they were conducting a search warrant. Her parents, Rita and Richard, were found shot to death in their home on January 2nd of that year. So they've been on the run for like over a year. Let me just put this here. Yep. They say after about a week after their deaths, the three people I just described to you were each found in separate rooms of a hotel. They say Lasoda was charged with obstruction of justice and disorderly conduct and was eventually released on bail after 5 months behind bars. They say the other two were not charged, and following Lasoda's release, the three of them disappeared. They say Lasoda is allegedly linked to 6 deaths across the country, including the death of a U.S. Border Patrol agent killed in Vermont last month. I'll show you more about the Border Patrol. That's such a weird photo. They say the Border Patrol agent, David Mayland, 44, was shot in the neck around 3:15 p.m. on January 20 in Newport while performing a traffic stop. They say Teresa Youngblood was arrested following the violent shootout, which also left a German national called Felix Buchholz, also known as Ophelia, dead. They are alleged members of the Zizans cult. They say Youngblood was arrested and is currently facing federal firearm charges in connection to his death. The others are reportedly connected to Malin's death, and she allegedly purchased a handgun that Youngblood used in the shootout. So that was Michelle. She purchased the handgun that was used in the shootout with the Border Patrol. What are they doing? Going across the country, killing parents, killing a Border Patrol, killing other people? It is very odd. Here's another person. This is Daniel Blank, 26. And there's the Border Patrol agent who lost his life, David. Just doing his job, serving the community. And these punks decided to kill them. It's very odd. I don't understand what's going on here either. I don't understand why you travel the country wanting to kill random people. It's very warped. They say here, authorities in Vermont said the weapon was purchased by the same person who bought the firearms used in the murder of Michelle's parents years earlier, according to court records. So these people are just connected to like heaps of different violent deaths. They say Lasoda is also being accused of being at the scene in California where a landlord who tried to evict her and members of the cult was attacked by the group. That landlord is called Curtis Lind and was stabbed with a sword, but still managed to shoot and kill one of the cult members in self-defense, according to police. Good job, landlord. Good job shooting them. Good job protecting your home. They say though she was believed to be at the scene, Lasoda was never charged. 2 others were charged with murder and attempted murder in that case. Despite surviving the initial incident involving the cult, Lind was killed on January 17th after he was found with his throat slashed. So they went back to go get him. After he survived the sword attack, they eventually went back and killed him. It's like a mini mafia hitman group traveling across the USA, killing different people that they don't like or that get in their way. It's very odd. Another person called Maximilian Snyder, 22, of Kirkland, Washington, has since been charged with his murder and is believed to be connected to the Zizans. The group has been described as an ideological group of rationalists. They say the SF Chronicle reported it is said to be named after Lasota, whose nickname is Ziz. They say she is a computer programmer who graduated from the University of Alaska Fairbanks. Hey to everyone in Fairbanks, Alaska. They say she interned at NASA and Oracle, and like many young tech entrepreneurs, moved to the Bay Area for proximity to the tech industry, which is considered which I considered sort of my. She's saying she moved to the Bay Area to get near the tech industry, which she considered her destiny to be there. And apparently that was from a blog post that she wrote in 2019. Bizarre that they could be connected to multiple murders. That is still such a weird photo. I wish they would give a better description. It's so weird. It definitely looks like a cadaver, right? I don't know why Ping thinks that, but hold on. I just want to get you a better video where they can pronounce these names better than Ping can. Give me a sec. Yeah, here we go. This will explain it a bit better than I can.
Another person has been arrested that could be connected to the shooting death of U.S. Border Patrol agent David Chris Mayland. Mayland, you'll remember, was killed in a shootout in the Northeast Kingdom of Vermont last month. 2 civilians were involved. One of them was also killed. The other, Teresa Youngblood, is facing federal weapons charges. And now we are learning more about a group that the 2 suspects appear to belong to. They call themselves Zizians. NBC5's Liz Streppa has been following this. Liz, we understand that this group's leader was arrested?
Yeah, Jack, a person named Jack Lasota, who goes by the name Ziz online, was arrested yesterday in Maryland for allegedly trespassing on private property and driving a vehicle with a handgun inside it. We're now learning more about Lasota's associates and their involvement in multiple homicide investigations, including the shooting death of Border Patrol agent David Mayland in the Northeast Kingdom. Before yesterday's arrest, Lasota had been linked to multiple homicide investigations, including the 2022 murder of a landlord in Vallejo, California, and a double homicide of an elderly couple in Pennsylvania that happened that same year. Yesterday, Lasota was arrested alongside Michelle Zajko. She's a person of interest in the Pennsylvania homicides. Police say she purchased the guns that were fired at border agents in Vermont last month. Zajko also owns property in the Northeast Kingdom. She's facing charges for trespassing and possessing a handgun. We also know that the 2 people who shot at Agent Mayland, Teresa Youngblood and Felix Buckholt, had been living in a condo in North Carolina before the shootout. Lasota.
See, it's not just me. The person who gets paid big money to read the news also couldn't pronounce the names either. It's not just me. Carolina says, you have an intriguing mind. Yeah, thank you. I want to take you to the other side, though. I want to show you what may have kicked at least some of this off with the murder of the 2 people in Vermont. And it's just all so strange, but yeah.
Murder mystery in Delaware County. A couple was killed in their home 2 years ago. And tonight, our Shawnette Wilson has new details on a person of interest and other murders they may be tied to.
State police say a gun may be the link between 2 cases involving deadly shootings, one dating back to New Year's Eve of 2022. New developments in an investigation that had gone quiet since the double murders inside the Chester Heights home 2 years ago. Still, no one is arrested for the deadly shooting of 72-year-old Richard Zajko and 69-year-old Rita Zajko. Now, Pennsylvania State Police say a gun used in another shooting was bought by a person of interest in the murder of the Zajkos, who is also a person of interest in a murder in California. Federal investigators made the discovery after an incident on January 20th of last week, when they say a U.S. Customs and Border Patrol agent was killed near a Canadian border crossing in northern Vermont after a car stop. The two people in the car have been identified as Teresa Youngblood and Felix Ophelia Bachholt. Bachholt was killed during an exchange in gunfire with federal agents. The woman was arrested. Investigators have not named the person of interest in the Delco double murders, who they say purchased the gun used in the shooting of the Border Patrol agent. Meanwhile, a neighbor I talked to off camera tonight, walking her dog near the victim's old home on Highland Drive in Chester Heights, said neighbors hadn't heard anything since the murders. Investigators then said they found the husband and wife 2 days into the new year while making a wellness check at the home. No motive has been released.
Yes, I'm aware that it is one of the parents, one of the people's parents. It is very odd. I don't like, what are they doing? Why are they traveling from West Coast to East Coast killing people? It's very strange. I get there might be some sort of cult, and it's like a us against the world mentality going on, but they think everyone's after us. We have to kill everyone. But they killed that poor landlord. They got in a fight with him, stabbed him with a sword, and when he survived, they went back and killed him and slit his throat. What the hell? Why? I don't understand. Like, what is going on? Yeah, it's very strange. And if I take you over here, so that person who is transgender apparently, Jack Amadeus Lasoda, I think they go by a different name now. They say, yeah, they say Jack Amadeus Lasoda left our lives but not our hearts on August 19th after a boating accident. An obituary published by the Daily News Miner, is that a real paper? On September 7th, 2022 read, loving adventure, friends, family, music, blueberries, biking, computer games, and animals, you are missed. They say Lasoda, who used feminine pronouns, had been out on a boat with her sister Naomi and friend Emma when she fell overboard into the San Francisco Bay. The Coast Guard responded to the scene, searching the choppy water for hours. Her body was never found. It appeared to be a tragic end for the promising, highly educated 31-year-old whiz kid from Alaska who had moved to the Bay Area to pursue her career in the heart of the nation's tech bubble. That is until 3 months later, when in November 2022, an elderly man was brutally attacked. Among those detained by the cops at the scene was none other than Jack Lasoda. They say 2 months later, her ghost would crop up in another curious location when police raided a hotel room during a search for a firearm used in the murders of an elderly couple in Pennsylvania. Lasoda, it seemed, was back from the dead. Dun, dun, dun. There you go. So they tried to fake their own death in a fake boating accident and then came back and tried to kill people. It's like something out of a Hollywood movie that Tom Cruise might be the starring member of. He might be the leading man. Something like Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol Boating Edition. They're saying here, not only was she alive, now following a series of increasingly bizarre, disturbing events, it has emerged that the WizKid daughter of an AI expert lies at the center of a twisted tale that spans 6 murders, all suspicious deaths across 3 different states. There was an attack on an 80-year-old man, leaving him blind in one eye and with a samurai sword sticking out of his chest. 2 years later, an assailant returned to finish the job, slashing the now 82-year-old's throat in broad daylight outside of his home. Then there was the New Year's Eve execution-style murders of a couple in their PA home. And then there was the Inauguration Day shootout between 2 suspects and a Border Patrol agent in Vermont, which left an agent and one of the suspects dead. On their own, these cases are each shocking, and on the surface, they appear to be unconnected. Yet each of these horror events lead back to a loosely connected radical group of highly educated vegan and mostly transgender women that's been described as a cult and dubbed by online observers as Zizians. Described as a death cult by those in the known, Zizianism is an extreme offshoot of rationalist movement, a philosophical movement based on the belief that reason is the primary source of knowledge. They said, do we have to read all this? I don't want to read all this. There's a photo of before they said that they were a woman. Okay, I'm guessing that's what that means. Yeah, so as you can see, it's some sort of twisted web of killing people, hurting people, taking out grudges, including this poor man. This is Curtis Lind. He was the one who was impaled on that samurai sword and lost an eye. But then 2 years later, someone came back and cut his throat in broad daylight. It is very odd. And now a poor border agent was shot and killed at the border. Pretty awful. Here's some more photos of them. This is Emma and Alexander, both charged over the 2019 protest with La Soda. They were then both allegedly involved in the attack on Curtis Lind. Yeah, that's what he looked like before. This is Lind before he was attacked, and this is him just before he died a few years later. He looked like a very different man after the attack, didn't he? And not only did he die a violent death, he probably would be living in fear because he knew these people already attacked him once, and they actually came back and finished it. So poor guy, really is. And they say in November, things got even stranger. Yeah, we know that. So that's what he looked like in hospital after the attack on his eye. And look at his poor arm. Look how bruised and battered his arm is after they stabbed him in the chest. They had to staple his arm back together. Look at that. Poor guy. And then they came back and cut his throat. All because he wanted to kick them off the property. That's it. Oh, yeah. Oh, what? Hold on. They say here, Tenant Patrick McMillan told NBC Bay Area at the time that Lind came knocking on his door with a sword sticking out of his chest. He says, he banged on my door and I woke up and came out. He said, I'm dying, and he had blood squirting out and a sword sticking through him. They say Lind miraculously survived but lost his right eye. What the hell? And then these two, these were the parents. They were killed as well. And this must be the scene of where the Border Patrol agent was killed. Just on a road, random road. There you go. I don't know why. No one ever tells them no. Maybe that could be it. Ping doesn't know though. All I saw was the details that I'm telling you now. And I think it's probably the weirdest part I've heard of this year so far. Let's see what else we have. There's the Border Patrol agent and his dog, David Mayland. And yeah. I don't know. Don't have too much else to tell you. There's a photo of Maximilian, and there's Teresa as well. So there's a lot of different people involved in this. So what? Yeah. So a lot of these random weird people that are somehow involved in these killings of multiple people now. Poor Lind. He looks like he was living his best life here. And then they came and got him. Ugh, poor guy. Yeah, let me search one last place. I want to show you some more details. I want this person. Let's see if we can find a bit more information. All right. one more story. Let's go here. Sorry, my links are working very slow today. Nope, that's not working. All right, so sorry, one of our links won't load at the moment for some reason. Here. There we go. There's a photo of Jack LaSoda. They say here the apparent leader of a cult-like group has been arrested in Maryland, along with another member of the group. They say Jack LaSoda, 34, was arrested on Sunday along with Michelle. That's the parents, the two people from PA. That's her mom and dad that were killed. They face multiple charges, including, I don't understand why they only got them on trespassing, hindering. These must be holding charges. They have to be, because they're very light charges for people who are accused of all these violent crimes. They're saying they've just been, for trespassing, obstructing and hindering, and possession of a handgun. And let's see if we have anything else in here. Oh, that's it. Just that apparently they're waiting to go to court. They're saying reached on Monday, representatives for LaSoda would only confirm that he has represented LaSoda and wouldn't confirm the arrest of her or any details of the case. Okay. They say here LaSoda, 34, has not responded to multiple Associated Press emails in recent weeks, and her attorney declined to comment when asked whether she is connected to any of the deaths. Before her weekend arrest, she missed court appearances in 2 different states and has bench warrants issued for her arrest. So, there you go. They're saying here, LaSoda published a dark and sometimes violent blog under the name Ziz, and in one section described her theory that the 2 hemispheres of the brain could hold separate values and genders, and often desire to kill each other. You've been smoking way too much crack. Way too much crack. You can't just say stuff and make it true. It doesn't work that way. You know, there's actually science and lab testing, peer review. You can't just say stuff like it's a fact. The 2 hemispheres of the brain could hold separate values and genders, right? Okay. I don't think so. I don't think that's how that works. They say, and often a desire to kill each other. No, I don't think that's how that works either. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on this, I promise. I will, if we get any more news about LaSoda, I will let you know. I don't think so. I think the dog survived. It was just because if the dog died, because it's an agent, like it's an agent for the Border Patrol, they would have had like a big thing for it. Like they treat it like it's an officer. So they would have said 2 officers died because they treat the animal as if it is. It's an authorized, it works for the agency. So they treat them like they're a real person. So if the dog died, they would do a procession and, they'd have the Ring of Honor and all that type of thing. They treat the animals pretty good. Ziz needs his head examined, right? Rachel said, should be charged as terrorists. I agree. All right. So I have one last thing to talk to you about until I hand you over to Trish at 10:30. I wrote a tweet last night, and I'll read it to you. Let me grab this for you. All right. I wrote a tweet last night. It says, there are real families and victims out there who need platforms from true crime creators and other creators to focus on, not people pretending to be the world's most famous missing girl after pretending to be another missing child. I said, if you give it oxygen or a platform, you're as bad as they are. Now, what I am talking about, and I won't use her name, is the person that is pretending to be Madeleine McCann. They came out with a new thing last night saying that they have DNA testing that matches like 20% of the markers of DNA for the father of Madeleine McCann. Like, no. Just no. Just not at all. It's just stop giving it oxygen. Don't give it any more platform. Just leave it alone. Her own family has come out and said she's mentally unwell. By doing this, you're exacerbating her hero syndrome or main character or whatever the hell she has. You're adding to it. Just leave it alone, and maybe one day we'll actually know what happened to Madeleine McCann. That would be nice. I'd like to know what happened to her. Right. It's just drives me crazy. So people are like, "Oh my god, it definitely means that." Oh shit! Hold on, guys. All right, sorry, I'm back. There was a courier. I had to get something because I locked myself out of my house like twice in the last year, and I had to buy something to fix that problem. So I bought one of those, like, those locks that you can put a key in, and it's got like a combination in that you put on the wall. Yeah, so I don't have to keep paying a locksmith like $300 every time they have to come out and let me back into my own home. So decided to fix the problem. Yeah, anyway. Right. If you match only some markers in the DNA profile, it means you could be like one of like 30 million people. Like, it's ridiculous. It's stupid. It's just been proven too much that this person isn't who they say they are, and everyone just needs to leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Because by doing this, if you do give her that attention and that platform, all you're going to do, you keep pushing her up like this, and eventually each time she crashes, it's going to be worse and worse on her. And you might be like, "Oh, that's a good thing, Ping. It'll teach her a lesson." Yeah, do you want to be in part of that downfall, like the downfall of someone like that? Do you want to be part of like the negativity of that? Just leave it alone. You know what she's saying now? That apparently Madeleine McCann's father is her daddy, and that her daddy must have had an affair in Poland like 20 years ago. What do we say about people who change their stories? What do police say about those? That they're normally guilty. People telling the truth don't change their stories. That's what we do in true crime. That's how the police do it, and I agree with them. I think it's just stupid. Touche. Glad it wasn't Ziz. Yeah, they're here to get pinged because I'm reporting on them. I'm glad it wasn't them either. Yeah, pants on fire. That's right. Just too many things that are not right about it, and I've seen a couple of platforms giving her time, making special episodes about just. You're literally just pumping up your own channel based on the drama of it. It's a really low way of doing it, and I'd rather stay at my 1,200 subscribers than to ever get to 1 million that way. I would never want to do that. By one, you're actually adding to the victimization of that girl. Whether she's crackers in the head or not, you're still adding to the victimization of her. Gayla says why she's a crazy. I know, but she still deserves being protected in some way, because by taking advantage of her, even though that's what she wants, you're buying into it. You know what I mean? Like, you're actually contributing to it now. So hopefully one day we actually do find out what happened to Madeleine McCann, and I will be there for it. I'll be there for that day, and I'll report everything on it because it's one of the very first cases I got involved in true crime for. And I would love to see that happen. I'd love to see us all get an answer of what happened to her. Why have her on? I have no idea. I don't know. Wendy asks, is she getting money to claim this? I don't think so. I think she's so hell-bent on becoming some sort of public profile. Like, she was on Dr. Phil last year, and like, I can't believe he even gave her airtime. Like, it's ridiculous. Starving for attention. The thing is, she tried to pretend she was a different missing child before she claimed that she was Madeleine McCann. Like, how many missing children can you be in one year? It just, like, I get it. You know, the parents of Madeleine McCann, they're not very well liked in the UK. I think originally people really did want to help them, but the Grange inquiry really pissed off a lot of people in the UK because they spent so much money looking for her. I think it's over 20 million pounds, which is, I think, 35 million USD. And a lot of people felt, how come they got so much money to look for their child when there's other kids that are missing in the UK and they don't get anything? No reward money, no resources, no nothing. And they're like, why is it okay to spend that much money on Madeleine McCann? So I get why there's a lot of people who don't like her parents anyway. But yeah, 3 different children. I thought it was 2. There you go. It's 3. Rachel said, it sounds like someone who needs medication and doesn't take it. Yeah, I don't want to make fun of people who take medication, but she definitely has some sort of delusions of grandeur or some sort of like main character syndrome going on. Because I thought we'd never hear from her again after last time. After she got thoroughly discredited, I thought, great, that's it. We can all move on. And then there was a freaking article in the paper last night about it. So Gayla said she's not the only missing little girl and it's been a long time. I agree. I actually think they spent too much money on Madeleine McCann. I think 20 million pounds is not a waste of money, but it's misappropriation of funds. Like, it's okay to spend some money looking for Madeleine, but like, why is that okay? But other parents can't even get a search team to search a pond to look for their child. Like, that's disproportionate to other things, right? And it's not fair. Everyone pays the same taxes. Everyone lives under the same rules and laws and, things like that. That's not okay. And I get why people are mad. Oh, you want me to take that off? Okay. Why? Was it staring at you? All right, here, I'll put something more pretty up. What can I put up that's pretty? Sorry, I'm working. I'm going fast, I promise. I'm going fast. So fast. The fastest. Here, let's talk about this lady for a second. What is she doing? Her name is Debbie Vulgaris. Learns her fate for smuggling 7 kilos of drugs into Thailand. I got to keep an eye on the time because she's going to be on in a second. What does it say here? The group of the drugs goes through. What did she get done with? What did she get done? 7 years? No. Oh, she got jailed for 16 years in Taiwan after 7 kilograms of heroin and cocaine were found in her luggage when she entered the country. Oh, that's a long sentence, dear. So she was busted in December 2023 with drugs hidden in a suitcase in Thailand. So she's going to have a long wait in jail, 16 years. That is a long, long time to have to sit in a jail cell. All right. All right, we're going to have to wind up, people. It's been a fight. This 2 hours went so quick. It went so quick. A picture of my cat. I'll do that one time for you. Carolina says, my theory is that G. Maxwell was there on the weekend MM went missing. And she looks like that sketch. Okay. Maybe. You might be right. 4 mins. All right. Give me 1 sec. I just want to check something before we go. All right. Thank you to Sean for the donation to the PayPal. I appreciate it. Those links are under the video. If you also would like to do that, that would be very kind. And I will see you. I don't know. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. And we'll do more true crime. I don't know what we're going to do tomorrow. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. There'll be something we can do. Hope you enjoyed tonight. Hope you enjoyed the early show. And I thought you guys would really enjoy the first story we did about the follow-up on the burlesque dancer and the investigation, how it's going so far. Hey, I love you all very much. Yeah, I don't think she starts on time ever. Trish is always fashionably late, but she may actually be watching my video, waiting on me to actually press the end button, because she has done that before. So I'm going to get out of here. You guys go have fun with Trish, and I will see you another time on the same bat channel, same bat time. Bye. Bye-bye.